What is up, guys? We got a first place deck file for Tengu Plan format who decided to play Infernities. A little background about this guy. He is Noax Design, who works for Ludwig at one point in his life, in his career. So even Edison and Tengu Plan format has reached to the depths of esports gamers and esports commentators as well. So I'm really proud about that fact. So anyways, more about you.
Yeah. This is my first time topping an event like this, so I was trying Infernities. I was really skeptical playing it because it bricks a lot, but it did really good today. And I got some pretty good hands that helped me combo early on, so yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm glad you won your first playmat with Lad here,
Yes.
In the Tengu Plan format, not
Absolutely.
Edison. So
It's my favorite card. I love Lad.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you'll get to play it in Infernities. But okay, so what inspired you to play Infernities out of all the other Tengu Plan decks you could have played?
Yeah, I started Tengu Plant with Hero Beat, and it's really good, but it gets boring really fast. So I wanted to have another deck that was a little bit more fun to play. And I've never really played combo decks. So Infernity seemed really good. I was just watching different decks. It kind of felt like Dragon Turbo in Edison. It was just actually popping off with the combos just feels really good. So
I see.
I stuck with it, and it feels like the more you play it, the better you get at it, and it's really hard to play. So my goal right now is to just keep practicing with it, get better with it.
Okay, what list were you inspired by? What do you have a name to that list?
Yeah, there's two lists. One of them is the standard Hydro Pump list, and then I'm not sure which one won. It was the only event. Infernities one is a really big event.
Yeah.
But I kind of mixed those two lists together, so I cut a lot of the cards from Hydro Pump's list that I thought were
Okay, so shout out to Hydro Pump for giving us a good Infernity list.
Yes.
And the other guy who we don't know the
Another
name
guy
of.
who won an event.
Won an event, but
Really
we don't
good.
know his name. But anyways, yeah, let's go into the deck profile and some of your card choices.
Yeah, sure. So the Infernities, I have 3 Archfiend, 3 Necromancer, 1 Mirage, and 1 Avenger.
Okay.
So I was trying to cut down on the monster count as much as I could, and I noticed a lot of lists play 2 Mirage, 2 Avenger. I really wanted to cut down on them just because this list plays Tour Guide and other cards that can recur Mirage's effect multiple times. I feel like if you open 2 Mirage or 2 Avengers, you usually lose that game. So I was just trying to avoid that from happening. So to me, this is the bare minimum Infernity count to be able to do your combos.
Even 3 Necromancer? Have you thought about cutting it to 2?
I've thought about cutting to 2, but it's just such a good top deck, and it walls off Thunder King, which is a really, really big problem. So sometimes it just stalls enough for me to get an out to it. So I think it's too good to cut, but I could see it being put down to 2. But that's the main Infernity list.
Okay, so that's only 8 Infernities?
3, 6, yep. And then I cut down on these so I could make room for the triple tour guide, and then 1 Street Patrol, 1 Greffer, 1 Armageddon Knight. So this is kind of the same theory where I felt like I didn't need 2 Street Patrol. If you get to use its effect once to get your combo, that's enough to win that game. And it's worse to just brick on it or open it early without a way to get it in the graveyard. And same principle with Greffer and Armageddon Knight, where these cards are really important to set up your graveyard, but at the same time, if you play multiple copies of these, you're just going to keep opening monsters, and it's counterintuitive to what you're trying to do with these cards, which is empty out your hand as fast as possible, get rid of all your darks, and then go into your combo. So
for those of you guys who don't know, Tour Guide can go into Necromancer. That's your target.
That's another huge thing. Oh, that's the wrong card.
Yeah.
This guy.
So it is a Fiend monster that's level 3. So it is negated, but you use it for a wall or Xyz.
It's really good. It's really good if your opponent has something like Max C, because this is still a really good stopping point to just summon Necromancer in defense and just pass. So that comes up a lot too. So yeah, main monster count. Again, this is the bare minimum. I just hated breaking on multiple copies of Mirage or Street Patrol.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. And then the spells. Play 3 Gold Sark and 1 Allure. This is my favorite part of the deck. I noticed the older list, they would play things like Duality and Upstart. To me, this is just
better.
It's more consistent, and it adds more combos to the build because you can use it with Tour Guide to bring out Levier, and you can just Gold Sark for like Archfiend, or a lot of times I would Gold Sark for Grepher or Armageddon Knight to empty out my hand.
Okay.
So really, really good. Same principle with Allure. You can banish any bricks in your hand, and then if you have Tour Guide, you can go into Leviair and bring it back. So
very cool.
Compared to Upstart, I feel like this helped a lot more with the power of the deck. So it just felt like there was a lot more options, and Tour Guide is really important because of Thunder King.
Yes.
It's the worst card to play against with this deck. I think Thunder King by itself can just solo games. So once people started adding in Tour Guide, I don't think you could ever cut this.
Yeah.
So
because it runs over Thunder King, or
it just trades with it.
Trades
Yeah.
it,
And you get your Necromancer in the graveyard for free. So really, really good.
Yeah, very cool, very cool.
Yeah. So Gold Sarks are really nice. Allure was nice. And then our one-ups, we have the one launcher, the Rhoda, 1-for-1, and Foolish Burial. So these are all to set up your combo pieces. Obviously, launcher is the best one. So it's just 2 Monster Reborns for your Infernities. I use its effect to discard a card. I think I discarded like Avenger from my hand, which is also really, really clutch. And then these are kind of just to get set up. Rhoda is really good for getting Armageddon Knight and Grepher. That's why I feel like you only need to run 1 of each. And I will Gold Sark for this a lot. Yeah. So early on, if I need to get rid of something in my hand, Rhoda is really good because your opponent can't Tour Guide it with like their own Leviair. So
I see.
If you Gold Sark for Grepher and then they Tour Guide
steal
it, that's like a game-ending kind of thing. So usually this is just safer, and then depending on your next 2 draws, if I draw a monster, I search Grepher. If I don't draw a monster, I search Armageddon Knight. So it's really, really flexible.
That's good strat, for sure.
Yeah. 1-for-1 is to get your Avenger and your Mirage. This is another reason why I feel like I only need to play 1 of each. And another thing that's really great with 1-for-1 is it can actually special summon from the hand, which a lot of people don't know about. So it can unbrick your Mirage if you open it early, and it can empty out your hand really fast. So
yeah, it's a good card in Infernity for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Foolish Burial, this is just to get whatever piece you're missing. Sometimes I'd send Avenger, Archfiend, Street Patrol. It just gives you that extra piece. And then what else?
And Launcher also does that too. You can discard an Infernity card too.
Exactly. I have 2. These are my Thunder King outs. So I was saying that's the hardest card to play against. So you play these only for Thunder King. In this case, my last match, Mind Control helped win me one of my games. So just being able to take set monsters. There's a lot of recruiters in Tengu. So Mind Control is really good. And then Book is obviously flip the Thunder King face down or just interrupt. They're just generically good cards. So I found that they're really good. I don't think I would cut them. And then you're just generic staple 1-0s. Reborn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm. You could cut this. There were definitely times where I would like set 5 and then draw a heavy, and I'm like, this sucks. But I just like being able to clear back row to go into my combos. I feel like that's the most important thing. Sometimes I'll heavy my own like barrier if it means I get to search more cards with it, right? So, in Reborn too. This is like the #1 card to search out with Gold Sark, almost always. If I need Rhoda, I'll get it, but this is like really safe to get Reborn. And then I play 3 MST in the main. I just hate back row. I hate Solemn Warning. It's the worst. So this helped a lot. I've just been used to playing 3 because at my locals, everyone plays like TG Stun.
I hate that card.
And there's so much back row.
Skill Drain, I hate that card too.
So 3, super important. And I think that's all the spells. For traps, we have 2 Barrier, 2 Break, 2 Solemn Warning, and then Solemn Judgment. These are just your negates and interruptions.
You like the ratio so far? The 2-2 split?
The ratio is perfect.
Okay.
I've seen pretty much all of them. I've seen people run 3 Barrier, 1 Break. I really like 2 and 2. Break has extra validity in this build because you can banish your monsters to bring back with Leviair. So if you... I'll usually Infernity break my Mirage if I have it in the graveyard.
That's crazy.
Because you can't special summon it from the graveyard anyway, so there's no point in being there. You banish it, Tour Guide it back, and then combo. So I think 2 of these is great.
Very cool, very cool.
3 barrier is fine, but I just don't want to open with it. I want to be able to search them out. And usually if you search 2 barriers with your combo, you're going to win that game.
Yeah.
It's very unlikely they're going to get through like 2 barriers and then like a break or something. So this was perfect. I don't think I would change any of these. And then just extra cards, 2 call, and then 1 Starlight Road.
Yeah, of course.
This is pretty straightforward. This is just
gas.
Monster Reborn, and then Road was my 40th card. I change this a lot, but it's just, it feels safe when you open it. So it never came up, but when I did draw it, it affects your combos because it changes what you synchro into if you don't need something like Stardust or like Negate or something. So yeah, that was the main deck.
40 cards, nice. I'd love to see it.
Yes. So what next?
Whatever you want.
Extra?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Let's do extra, because that's actually kind of important.
Yeah.
So our Xyz, we have 2 Levier, 1 Leviathan, Utopia, and then Zenmeister. This card
explain this card.
Came up a lot. So it's super useless. Its effect sucks, but it detaches a material on the turn that you summon it. So its effect is you can detach material to basically book one of your own monsters, and then at the end of the turn it gets flipped back up. Basically does nothing, but I made this and this probably the most in all of my matches because it's important to be able to, let's say, attach your Archfiends and then be able to send one to the graveyard so you can launcher it back or be able to get a free search from it. Utopia is good, but it's sometimes too slow because you have to attack, negate your own attack. And I just felt like I wanted the combo before
Main phase 1 better.
Okay. This is what I was talking about. 2 Levier was good. If one of them gets stopped, to be able to go in your tour guide, bring back your Archfiend. That happened all the time. So that was super good. And yeah, so these 5. And then 200 Eyes, 1 Infernity Doom Dragon. I think 200 Eyes is enough. You don't really need to run 3, and you're pretty low on space for this because of all the Xyz. So I was fine with 2. I never needed a 3rd one. And then Doom Dragon is just great because it's an Infernity name, so you can leave it on the field with Barrier, and its effect is also really, really good.
Yeah, it burns.
So, yeah, it pops a monster, kind of like Chaos Sorcerer. It doesn't banish it, but it destroys it, and then burns for that monster's attack. That helped me win my 2nd match because he had set Spirit Reaper, and then he had set Marshmallow. So I was just able to keep popping them, which is really, really good.
Oh, so, can it attack the same turn it pops, right? Or
it can't.
Okay. But, make sure. It's a Chaos Sorcerer, yeah.
But it's good. And then Street Patrol or Sergeants. Dang, I just realized I'm missing one of my... normally you play Armory Arm. That actually never came up.
So Armory Arm,
it's really important because that it's 7,200 damage if you can get this in Armory Arm, and it's really, really easy. So I can like show the combo for that.
Sure.
I'm glad that never came up because it's really good. But this card, it just does a lot of damage. It can attack twice like BLS, so it's really good. And then just a bunch of generic like Cataster, Brio, Darken, Stardust, Snapdragon, Trishula. Nice. I don't think I've ever made any of these. They're very situational. I think actually the Brio is supposed to be the Armory Arm. Because you don't really make 6s like that. Stardust you make a lot because of Road, and it's just really nice to be able to go into Stardust first and then search your barriers to protect them from things like MST. Trishula was the MVP. It comes up so often, and it just takes like Armageddon Knight, Archfiend, Avenger. And then I see. Go into Trishula. I made this probably like 4 or 5 times.
So Trish is actually important in Infernity.
It's really, really good.
I mean, historically speaking, that's true as well.
Yeah, but it's really easy to make in Infernity, so you have to win. But yeah, that's that. Just make sure you play Armory Arm if you use the list.
Yes, Armory Arm.
Side deck, we have 3 My Bodies, 2 Lance, 2 Twister. The My Body is for Herald, so agents having those interruptions can be like really annoying. They have Heralds, Veilers. This was the list that won that event, played 3 My Body, and I thought it made sense.
I'm confused. So if you set it main phase 1, you can't flip it. So are you setting this on your previous turn and then go popping off?
Yeah, I don't know. It never really came up because I don't play agents a lot. But in theory, it makes sense. I think, setting it or just like protecting... I don't know.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to flip it out because it's a quick play. You have to wait another turn.
Yeah, you have to wait. So it's like...
Maybe for Grepper.
Good,
it's probably for Grepper.
Yeah.
Like you go Grepper pitch,
Grepper,
and then
tour guide,
Herald, and then they go, all right, chain.
Yeah.
Chain my body.
It's
Okay.
still a good card. I never bring it in, so like you could probably put it in something else. These ones though are pretty important. Lance for TG stun. That never came up, but it's just a really good card. It's really good if you know they're playing Decree too. And then Twisters for Decree. Most of my opponents had Decree, so Twister was really, really good. It's like just for that.
Right.
So pretty straightforward. And then I play Traps, 3 Deep Prison, 2 Debunk, 2 Blackhorn, and then 1 Mirror Force. These came in a lot. Blackhorn and Debunk are really good. Debunk's good for the hand traps because you can expect those to come in.
Yeah, of course.
So interrupting Baylor, Maxi to go.
Crow even.
Crow, yeah. Crow's not even that great. I tell people not to side it in because I can just tour guide, get my guy back off the Crow. Right.
But don't tell people that.
Yeah. But these came in a lot. Mirror Force is just like the 15th card. It's like kind of good. I never brought it in.
These 4 battle traps basically stop Thunder King Ryle essentially.
Yeah, it stops Thunder King. These are good for TG and Heroes because it banishes the monsters. So it just helps protect yourself. But,
very cool, very cool.
Side deck's pretty straightforward. You're just like putting in stuff that you can expect to see.
Counter-siding.
Okay.
So you want to go through your combo videos really quick? Like the most basic ones or the best ones or whatever you want to call it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. So is this a separate video, or are we putting this? Are you stringing it together?
Doesn't matter, just do it.
Okay.
I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, I think the reason why I like this deck a lot is because it has so many different combos.
Yeah.
Some that can just like set you up to win the game, but some are just really good openers. So my favorite opening is Tour Guide Gold Sark. Make Levier, bring back whatever you need. It's super flexible. It's another reason why I like it more than Upstart. Because I can get whatever I want from it.
So in hands where you have another Infernity monster, then you want to go for Greffer with the Gold Sark. Right?
Yeah.
You go Tour Guide, Levier, Greffer, Pitch, whatever Infernity.
It's like so flexible because you can also, this happens a lot where you have Archfiend in hand, and you can just Gold Sark, Armageddon Knight, Street Patrol, special summon the Archfiend.
Oh, yeah,
so that's also
of course.
really good.
Okay.
It just gives you whatever you need. So super
So
good.
if you have Archfiend in your hand, send the Street Patrol. Or the Armageddon Knight with the Gold Sark and send the Street Patrol, banish the Street Patrol.
Super good.
Special summon the Archfiend, search for the Archfiend. Okay.
Yeah. The main combo, I think, is these 3. So this gets your level 8s, and usually you're getting 100 Eyes Dragon.
Okay.
Sometimes you can get Stardust, like I said, if you want to protect your like launcher or any other card, so you can start with Stardust, depending on what you have. But generic play is to just go into an 8 with these guys.
Yeah.
Bring out 100 Eyes. You can use its effect. If you have Mirage in the graveyard, you can copy Mirage's effect, tribute itself, get back Archfiend.
Yeah, I've seen this combo before. Yeah.
Necromancer. This is like the standard
the
standard one. So it basically gives you a free search off of Archfiend.
You get Launcher from the Archfiend first.
You can get Launcher, do the whole thing again,
Yeah.
and you can just keep busting off of it. What I really like with this build too is 100 Eyes, again, it synergizes with Tour Guide. So you banish that Mirage. If they're somehow able to out you, you're not just like completely out of gas. You can Tour Guide, get the Mirage back from the banish zone with Levier, and then go into like a Trishula or whatever you need to like come back, right? I know.
Don't worry about it, it's cool.
Thanks, guys.
Applause.
Let's see, what else? I mean, that I don't really know if there's much you do with comboing with that, but bring it in the grave with Armageddon Knight, Greffer to special summon that last piece that you have in your hand, like Mirage or Archfiend.
So it seems like Tour Guide simply just goes into Levier.
Yeah, Tour Guide almost always goes into Levier to bring back whatever you banish. Like you basically have your 3 Gold Sarks, Allure of Darkness, both your 100 Eyes, both your Infernity breaks to banish your own cards. It's almost always live, and then it outs Thunder King.
You're searching for, so the trap card you search for first, is it always Barrier or is it always
It's pretty much always Barrier. It really depends on what they have, but you start with Barrier. I think it's really safe to do like Barrier Break. If you have Archfiend on the field, it's really important that you protect your Archfiend at like all costs if it's your only Infernity, because a lot of people will have, if you search 2 barriers and then they just go summon Thunder King, attack over your Archfiend, Heavy Storm, you just lose that game.
You get destroyed,
It really depends on what you get, but usually it's like 2
Okay,
barriers.
so don't search for barrier unless
Yeah.
you can search for break.
Yeah.
Okay, so the order is barrier, search, and then search for break? Or just search for barrier, then break?
Usually I'll do barrier, break, barrier.
Barrier, break,
it
barrier,
really depends on what they have. Like
So
this,
cascading.
Yeah, this
between the
deck
two.
is like super situational, so it really depends. But what else is there?
I see, okay.
Yeah, I think, are there any other big combos?
Any with the Stygian and Street Patrol with the armory arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really a good one to
okay.
add in.
That's,
So assuming you have armory arm, which you have one in your
yeah.
deck. Okay,
Let me
cool.
grab one. I'm so glad.
And so you go into this combo when you want to go for 7,200 damage.
Yeah, basically game.
Only if it's game.
Yeah.
If it's not game, don't do it.
You can. It's a little risky because you could usually go into like a better play with barriers.
Yeah, with barriers and stuff and breaks.
But usually what you do is to make your armory arm, you have Necromancer, Avenger, and then Archfiend, Avenger, make Street Patrol.
Okay.
So you get these on the field.
Yep.
You go into Street Patrol first. Or I keep saying Street Patrol, but it's Sergeant.
Sergeant, yep.
Yeah. If you haven't used his effect, you bring back the Avenger. It's like super easy to bring
I
out.
see.
That's all you have to do. Make Armory Arm, attach it.
Yeah.
And because this attacks 2 times,
Yeah. It gains 800 attack on the second one.
Exactly. And you just run over something, it deals damage, you run over something again.
Oh, only if they have 2 monsters, basically.
I mean, if you attack direct, it's the same thing.
Oh, it's
so
the same thing.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you
I
destroy
see.
one and then attack direct, that's the 7,200.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's really, really good. That combo is super easy, and people never expect it because
Right.
they're usually thinking of like, I need to out these barriers and
Yeah, but not
you know,
the
100 eyes. They're never like,
lethal.
oh god, they're gonna hit me for 72
Yeah, yeah,
with the surgeons, you know. So that's
Okay.
super easy to make, and
Very cool.
it comes up a lot. Yeah. So
Okay,
that's
cool.
pretty good.
And then the Trishula is usually made by
Trishula.
Armageddon Knight,
It's-
Stygian Fish Patrol, and
Yeah.
the Avenger.
Either of these two, Archfiend, this comes up a lot, and then the
Yeah, usually you'll leave like a level 4 out there because you're dumping with them.
yeah.
And then you have your Archfiend with the Necromancer.
Yeah.
So the Necromancer will get the Archfiend, or the Avenger, and then you just synchro the dumpers with the
Yeah.
Avenger.
It could literally just be like Armageddon. Usually I set up my Archfiend first.
Oh, I see.
So I always like get that in the graveyard first because it sets up all of your good plays.
Uh-huh.
If you just go like summon Armageddon Knight, Avenger, and then get Launcher, like that's Trishula.
Okay.
Right.
Very cool.
So-
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Last round, that's why.
Man, I think that's like all of the.
Yeah, that seems like you pretty much hit all the basic combos for Infernities, or some of the more intermediate combos. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for the deck profile, and maybe there'll be a big Tengu event coming up in SoCal. We'll never know. Hopefully it'll be CX that'll be doing it, Collectibles Exchange. But yeah, hope to see you more in the future, George, and hopefully you take Infernities
Yes.
to the top.
Let's do it.
All right, peace
Thank
out.
you.